today. Brandon James Scott is here. He is the creator and developer of Just in Time, a new animated series for kids that's going to be debuting on the 16th on Disney Junior. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I find it so fascinating to try to tap into what will hold a child's attention. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old at home.
That's such a good point.
You know, and it's like, what is going to make you interested?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you have to provide a really strong story and really engaging characters, and you know.
For what age, though?
For preschoolers.
Really?
Yes, yeah. For any age, really. I mean, I think one of the sort of like basic things that we've had at the studio when we're making this show is that, you know, whatever kind of audience you're putting your show to, you have to respect it and you have to provide like solid entertainment, you know.
Right.
You want to tailor it to the right age, but you want to make sure that you're giving them, you know, what you would give to an older audience as well, which is
You don't
like
want to dumb it down just because of
not
the
at all,
age.
not at all. No.
Did you, when you were a kid, were you profoundly influenced by cartoons? Did you do a lot of doodling? Did you draw your own characters?
Yeah, I think I did more drawing in my math, you know,
Yeah,
workbooks
sure.
than math problems. Yeah, but you know, midway through school, I sort of realized that these drawings were working a little better than the other stuff. So I thought, you know, maybe I could do that for a living. So.
How do you test your ideas? Do you talk to a lot of kids?
Well, you know, some of the people at our studio have children, and they'll take home, you know, the work midway through and kind of show it to their kids. We've gone to a couple schools and showed some episodes, and kind of, you know, they're watching the screen and we're watching their faces, sort of thing. And the reaction's been pretty good so far.
And what is the sort of the story behind the cartoon for people who are just catching it
Just
right
the basic
now?
sort
Yeah,
of thing?
the basic.
Well, the show's about Justin, who's like a young, energetic boy, and he's got some imaginary friends. And first one is Squidgy, who's sort of like a piece of clay that's sort of personified, kind of in a Calvin and Hobbes sort of style.
Was that Squidgy there?
That was Squidgy, yes.
That's Squidgy.
Yeah.
A piece of clay.
He's like his best friend. He almost acts like his little brother. And
Okay.
and then he also meets Olive, who's in his imaginary world, and she's sort of like a familiar face every time they go on these adventures.
Right.
And they go all around the world throughout all of history. Every single episode, they go to a different place in history.
Right.
So are we trying to sneak in education in these?
Well, I don't want to say sneak, but it's certainly a backdrop. It's not an educational show.
Yeah.
It is a
But
fun
I know
adventure
from
show.
different things I've read about the industry right now in kids television, educational programs are not at the top of the priority list. Kids don't,
Yeah,
they won't watch them.
Yeah.
They're not getting the attention. So it does have to kind of like the, you know, grinding up the vegetables in the tomato sauce. You kind of got to do that a little bit.
Yeah, well, we definitely heard that when we were developing this, you know. Actually, the original pitch that I had was just Justin and an imaginary friend. He wasn't Squidgy yet, but it was very educational. It was, we go back and we learn about a place, and the more and more we went through it, the more it just became a fun adventure show, and history just sort of took it was a backdrop. We'll go to ancient Egypt and they'll run into this weird statue and all of us say, oh, that's a Sphinx, but then we leave it there, you know? And those kinds of things are so high concept for a little kid anyway. We don't really think
Yeah.
at this age they're gonna.
What's in that merce he's carrying around?
Sorry?
The man purse.
What's in that merce?
Which man purse?
The thing he's got around his shoulder. He's got like a strap, a thing strapped
Oh, well,
over
that
his
was
shoulder.
that was like a satchel, you know. He was
satchel.
he was sort of pulling an Indiana Jones kind of thing.
Exactly. Well, he had a little Indiana Jones
Yeah,
thing going.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
so-
yeah.
there it is. So,
Yeah.
so is he carrying anything special in there?
No, this was just for that one episode.
I
he was
see.
sort of like playing the Explorer adventure in this one.
okay.
So.
So Brandon, so much has changed in terms of illustration over the years. Technology has pumped in. What's it like creating these characters now, as opposed to, you know, 15 years ago, illustration, you're sitting there, you know, you make one drawing, and then you turn a page, you make another. How do you approach this?
Well, I mean, when you're developing it, it's all the same. It's just sitting down with some paper and pencils and just sketching it out and trying to like figure out what works. When you get into producing it, yeah, we build these sort of characters on the computer, build them almost like digital puppets, and you can do a lot more. You have a lot more flexibility now, and you can mix a whole bunch of different styles together.
You know what, Chris and Liza were talking about how to appeal to kids, and I remember CIII, that my daughter watched that. Primary colors, really bright, and I think that they did a study as well to see what appeals to kids.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the colors as well as the character and the storyline?
Well, yeah, I mean, my role on the show is as art director as well, so I tried to really focus on the visual style. Did a lot of paintings, studied a lot of like 1950s illustration and animation work. I really love the retro stuff and bright graphic colors. I think it's really important for the entertainment for this age group.
Well, thanks so much for dropping by. The show's been doing very well in the States, right?
So far, so good. We're here.
Yeah, congratulations. And so now it premieres here in Canada Sunday, September 16th on Disney Junior at 8:30 a.m. Brandon James Scott, the creator and developer of Just in Time. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.